Welcome back, Squid Dragon of No Goblins Allowed. I just created a video of my tournament deck, Bant Eldrazi. Did a deck tech in that if you want to check that out, just to kind of see some of the cards in the deck and some of the reasons. As I said, on the iOS tournament, I wanted to. I've always enjoyed playing Bant, and I thought we would try and return to some of the older cards, and particularly looking at the Eldrazi, which of course go way back to Battle for Zendikar and Oath of the Gatewatch. So, and of course in Bant colours with the Enter the Battlefield effect. I think it was a useful choice against what the field currently is these days in Magic Duels in terms of meta. So this was just intended to be a couple of quick matches against the AI, just to give people that have looked at the deck tech and just want to see the deck being run, and how some of the comments I made on the way the deck runs and what you're looking for in the deck, we can see those in action. So I'll go into solo battle. As I said, I didn't intend to. This is a build for ladder, so when I've been testing, although I've used it a few times in the ladder and it's done fairly well, I primarily have been testing this versus the hard AI, which will run a couple of matches just to give you an idea of how the deck runs, and hopefully you can see how the cards work together. Okay, here we go. One of the interesting things from a mulligan point of view, and it's just it seems to be a feature, and most players of Magic Duels will realise this, that you really need to try and get a hand which has at least 3 mana. Typically, if you have 2 and less, you've got, so we can see here I've got a 2-cost mana hand. Although I've got, and I don't have the colours to cast the Advocate, so I'm going to mulligan that, draw a new hand. And here, okay, we end up with quite a lot of mana, but in fact, no cost creatures. But for this, given that we have access to pretty much all the colours we're going to need, I'm going to keep it for now and just hope that we can get an early draw. So I will send out, typically Hinterland Harbour, we want to play untapped, but because this is early in the match, we can see what happens, and we should just hope that we will get in the next few turns. Okay, we've got ability to do some like card return, but again, for now we have nothing to use it against. So we now have 2 exile and return effects, which is useful once we manage to draw a creature to cast out. So far the mulligan with all lands is running a little bit against us, but there's still confidence that we will draw, and there we are. So we now have, and we have the mana to cast it sort of natively. I'll cast a Waste out because it's an important card for other cards that will come out, and we can cast out the Eldrazi spawner. The fact that we have the exile effect as well, I can use that. Obviously this gives us an additional mana in the form of the token, and it gives us a useful flyer in the air. So I think for now it was good for that to have landed. Yeah, we're going to get a swing for 2. We're not going to block because we can get an equal return backswing for 2. In fact, we'll be doing 3, so we're still ahead. We get white as a colour, so what I can do is actually attack, and rather than using the single blue, now that white's come in, and again the advantage of being able to cast the return is I will bring this back stronger from a defense point of view, and I will also end up creating yet another token for mana. So this is helping our mana now, which is the point. Even though we had pretty much a full head of land, but we now have a useful 3/2 in the air. So again, if the opponent's attacking, so now he comes down with a Ember Minotaur. What we're hoping now in the Bant colours, some of the cards we want to see are obviously the Reflecting Mage would be an ideal draw at this point in time. So again, we'll just let that go through for now. At least we have the tokens to block the Emberhorn. Yeah, and obviously I've got, for now I think as a threat, and because it's got Exert, we will remove the Emberhorn. I'm still doing more damage each turn with the creatures I'm attacking with. So it's keeping us currently ahead. You'll see as well we have the Lumbering Falls, which if we're not going to be casting any more creatures, I can then start using the man land. So it's going back to the deck tech, having the man land on board, and we're not versing black in this particular match, so we don't have to worry about things like Fatal Push removing it inadvertently. Okay, now we have Glorybringer, typical AI deck, so you will swing with Exert and remove the Eldrazi, which if I was fast enough, that's a misplay there, if I was fast enough I could have just exiled and returned it, so that was a mistake my part, just not paying attention. Okay, we have removal. So what's happening now with the deck, which is a lot unusual in some ways, is we're not really, with the large mana that we had at the beginning, it's starting to count against us a little bit, but I will hold the declaration for anything else, but obviously the 4/4 has Exert, so we've removed its kind of last creature, so we're running at 12/12. So what we really want now, and what I would have hoped to have seen by now in the deck, is some of these other low cost creatures. We've got a Shimmerscale Drake, which is a fairly strong blocker, so it would be useful now to try and get some of the top end cards in there. Okay, Thought-Knot Seer will do nicely for the minute. So I can cast Thought-Knot Seer. The AI's only got 2 cards in hand currently, so I'm going to have a look and see what he's got. Yeah, we can get rid of that creature. He just has an additional land, so we don't have to worry about doing the flicker effect yet. And I will skip the attack, and to keep yeah, the 4/4 is going to, what I'm going to do, I will remove the 4/4 because it can remove my Thought-Knot. We have this 3/4. I'm hoping, obviously, again with what we have. Okay, so he's creating this Embalm token, 2/3 coming back. He's stacking the clue. Again, you receive that clue from the Declaration in Stone. It's a disadvantage of obviously using Declaration in Stone. He's not attacking because and we're still drawing land. So for now, I'll just have to be patient. If I attack with a 4/4, he'll double block. I'd rather keep that with these cards in hand. I can see trying to move any sort of so Battlefield Scavenger. I'll try and use that at his end step just to see what else might be in hand. But again, it says we haven't been drawing too much in the way of creatures, but you know, so far the deck is still performing well. We have our colours, of course, because we had so much mana after the mulligan. So I'm assuming now I would expect him to actually use the 3/4 since he has a bit more defence on the ground. Whether he decides to hold it back. No, he's swinging, which is okay. So that's putting us in the back foot a little bit, but I'm hoping, as I said, that I do eventually get one of these other creatures that we have in the deck. They're definitely in there somewhere. Okay, Rex Sage wasn't really an ideal pickup, but we'll take it for now. I want to activate the manland. Oh, no, that didn't work. That was a mistake because I didn't have the right type of mana. I'm going to hold back again, although that's putting me perilously close. I really need the right spell. I mean, ideally what I'm looking for at this point in the match is the Reflector Mage. And I've got Flicker, so Reflector Mage can take two of those creatures out, and then this battle would swing to me. A top end Eldrazi would also work well, or any of the Planeswalkers. So we will just see what happens. Typical Magic Duels. Okay, so we've got Matter Reshaper, which is, it's not perfect, but will do. Let's try and see if I can do this properly this time for the manland. Yeah, okay. So we left him up. So for now, I'm going to put pressure on his life total. I'm expecting him to double block the Thought Knot. He does. So that at least removes some of his power. He still has that flyer, which becomes a problem. And of course, I'm giving him a card draw with the Thought Knot, but that's just a downside of casting the Thought Knot. We do have the Matter Reshaper, which I will definitely attack with because the likelihood is I'll be able to replace it with another card. Okay, now he has his second flyer, so without drawing, which with 3 in the deck, I would have expected to see by now, without drawing an extra Reflector Mage, this could be a lost match. It just, yeah, so so this is where we'll use, you'll see the Matter Reshaper and its ability when it dies to hopefully give me land is not what I needed at this point in time, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so now we get Reflector Mage. So in favour of the Reflector Mage, because we can bounce both these creatures to hand. And we can swing. The advantage of the Reflector Mage, neither of those creatures can come back. Of course, you could have the second Glorybringer, which would just be us dead, which typically with these AI decks, that can be something that can happen, but you know, we lost the Thought Knot obviously, so we weren't able to then see. I could have used the Thought Knot to see what was going on. Okay, we've got an Enigma, he's got another flyer, but at least hasn't got haste. It's a 0/4. Yeah, it's just cycled it, so it's increased its power to 1/4. And he has another flyer, so yeah, I mean, typical AI deck to try and use the another Reflector Mage. which I have in the deck, would be handy. With the right spell here, or one of the any Eldrazi that's going to have a tap down effect. Here's a Sky Spawner, which is useful because it gives me some defense in the air. Fetch a green here, land. So from this point of view, I can present I'm going to leave the Reflector Mage up because we could get another flicker effect. 2-1, as I said, the other advantage about that as well is it creating a token. Okay, so Michelle Drake again. Again, another Reflector Mage or a flicker effect would be useful to close down. Okay, and now he's obviously casting out. Obviously, the Reflector Mage effect is worn out, so these come back. This has to be a block here. At least it's removing that one flyer. Okay, we have Gideon, so this will probably not do it for us. Let me just think if this is possible to recover the win from this. So Gideon, the best use of Gideon now is just a sack because it gives us the power that we might need. And if I attack, okay, so that was lucky at the end there, but we did get through that one. A lot of mana, and you see I didn't get creatures out quite as fast as I would like, but it was a win, so let's move on and look at the next game, second game. And hopefully you can see some of the advantages of having the spells. We didn't get any of the kind of top end. We had Gideon, which was useful as a usage of him to sack to give us the power we needed to close out. So we'll run 3 of these and just see how this goes. So again, from a mana point of view, 2 mana. Okay, now, yeah, this is a tricky one because we do have Thali, which can be useful, but we don't have the mana. But we do have a Pilgrim's Eye with 2 mana, and so I'm going to gamble on this and keep. As typical in Magic Duels, it'll probably just stall giving me a 3rd land. With a 3rd land, depending on what it is, yeah, so no land. Usual. We've got Gideon, which is fine later on, but we need to be hitting a 3rd land in the next few turns. Typical AI deck coming out with a cheap, fast life gain creature. Right, so now we do get our extra land, which is nice. The plan here will be to cast the Pilgrim's Eye and then fetch white, and then we can have Thalia, and we also have access to the removal. And so in this case, our gamble paid off. and we're now getting like cheaper creatures coming in. So I'm going to cast, and I don't mind like trading the I don't mind trading the Pilgrim's Eye for the 1/1 just to stop the kind of life gain, because we pretty much have, apart from the no, actually I'm gonna keep that there, because we're now missing a waste for mana, so it might be useful to have. Now obviously the Eldrazi Sky Spawner creates a waste for us, so that's fine. Creates a token, which I can use the token to finally kill off the life gainer. Um, and then we can bring Thalia out next turn. Yeah, so finally that's got to die. Okay. The AI is okay. Anointer Priest, it's another cheap creature, which is fine for us for now. We should be in a situation of controlling the board when Thalia hits down. Right, so, and we're getting a decent amount of mana. So Thalia hits, and you'll be able to see the advantage that Thalia has. It's useful as well with the Sky Spawner, and obviously the Pilgrim's Eye, which we decided to keep around for now, because it gives us another creature in the air. And of course, okay, so here comes removal for Thalia. No surprise there, but at least debated that removal threat. I still think we should be in a reasonably good position. Yeah, there's another we'll just knock down this health life gain it's had. Typically expecting the AI to cast the legendary cat with life gain. That tends to be okay. Liliana's Death Mastery, that's unusual. Again, with the flyers I have, should be able to take her down in a couple of turns. Okay, so now we have Tameo. Not the time for Tameo now, though. I think what we will do is I will remove the token, because then I can try and get rid of, and I've also got another Sky Spawner which will get out. The 3/3 is safe from removal, so let's just try and deal with Liliana now. Respecting, yeah, just blocking with one, just for the purposes of saving Liliana, but I think we have the mana now for casting Thought Knot as well, so if there is anything more dangerous in its hand, Soul Stinger. Okay, because it has to use the minus effect, it doesn't become that big a threat. He's attacking, we don't need to worry about blocking for where we are now. We'll be putting okay, so yeah, sacrificed to bring back, so I can match, and I also have, I can return it for a second time, but let's just see what it's got in his hand to see if it's worth removing both cards. Yeah, we don't want Liliana's Mastery, thank you very much. And we don't really want him having, I shall do Long Road Home. I'll give him the card draw, but at least I'll see what card he's got. I'd like to get rid of the token generator, it just gets the pain. I can swing with these flyers, and then we'll come back and you'll get plus counter, so you'll be able to handle. Right, so now we have another look. See what was drawn from the clue. Okay, yeah, so we do get rid of that. He's just left with a land, which is not a worry for us. We have the 5/5 holding 5 firm in the ground, and we've got our advantage in the air. Okay, so he's getting another draw from the death of the Thoughtnot. Again, we haven't seen Reflector Mage. We've got Miasma. Do that out. I can live with the 6 damage for now. Let's try and get Gideon out and just use a token. No, we don't have mana for Gideon, so what I will do, need a tempo turn, so I'll use tap both of these. They don't untap next time, which should give me time to draw out of this. I'll leave the 3/3 in the ground, given our health is not quite so clever. And then we've got the Eldrazi Sky Spawner to again put another creature in the air and another token blocker. Yeah, just land, which is fine from him. We're due again another creature draw. He's using return obviously to create another 2/2, which for now is fine. Right, so that gives me the mana for Gideon. I'll create the token. I'll use Tamiyo's ability to give me card draw, which should hopefully fetch the draw I'm looking for. We'll find out. So we get two draws off of that with Tamiyo. We get another land, what a surprise, and we've got removal, so we can get rid of that annoying 5/5. Blake Belcher. He decides to lose a token, but I think it's useful then I've had. Yeah, we will sacrifice our token to that. We've got to watch the menace creature, of course, so that's probably the bigger risk at the minute. So let's remove the menace and let's get another token to block on the ground, and let's start putting pressure on now with Gideon, and also continue the card draw. So again, at this point in time with creatures we have and some of the effects, we're starting to take control over the board. We've got Tammy Watt where we can use our -2 ability again, which is not going to help us. Again, we're just drawing into land for now, which is fine. Because we have Gideon, he has to deal with the threat of Gideon, and we have blockers. Here's the cat I was talking about, typical for the AI decks. To put this, pity the Declaration Stone is no longer around, but I've got power in the air, so as long as I can come up with good answers, we should be fine. Yeah, okay, Gideon's been attacked, but again we've got just a token to handle that threat. Well, now we have another Thought Knot, which is fairly handy, so let's tick Gideon up. What I will do, I am going to tap down, but I'm going to tap down these life gaining tokens. So if we attack, I'm going to leave the this time and I've got the Queller, of course, which I could flash in. So I can use that as a blocker. It's another in the air. So yeah, got removal for that. Those life gainers are not going to untap, so that's handy. I should be able to, if there's any spell coming out, there is. This is where the Queller becomes handy, just to remove that annoyance. So that's giving us lethal now in the air for the backswing. Festering Mummy. So yeah, it's going to go in with everything. It's targeting, which is fine. Let's do it like this. We don't need a Sky Spawner. Let's see. Well, of course, there's no cards in hand, so that's fine. Yeah, just because the last two creatures I may as well sack, and so we remove its final blockers, even if we didn't have lethal in the air anyway, and we got lethal coming with Gideon. So that's our second win, and we'll do one more match for 3. And as I said, hopefully, again, interesting there that we didn't get tokens. Sorry, the Reflector Mage, it tends to be a fairly key card, and you know, if you're getting it early, it can make an early difference. But let's go for the third game and see what happens. And it's interesting to point that the diversity of the decks. Some people are anti-AI because of the quality of its play, etc., etc. I've got enough mana there. I'm going to keep that because we've got decent mana. We've got mana fixing as well. So I think with Thought Knot, I will use this to fetch a waste. We have Lumbering Falls in blue and white, so I will cast Lumbering Falls. It's interesting as well, interesting about this deck, we have the Elder Deep Fiend, which we're probably going to be able to cast pretty much on curve. It's going to do a second blue, which we don't have currently, but we can get to that situation. So let's cast out the open land. I think I will, yeah, we want to take the 3/3 because obviously it's going to be able to deal with the 2/2. And then we'll be casting Thought Knot next. I have a second Sky Spawner, so I'm at this early stage quite happy to, particularly with typically the way the AI decks run. Right, so here we go with the Thought Knot, which is obviously more than a match for the, and then we can see for the 2 cards it's got left in its hand. Synchronized Strike, that could be dangerous, so we'll lose that. Pass the turn back to AI. I'm going to be able to emerge, but I'm going to emerge off the Sky Spawner rather than the Thought Knot, clearly, so my Glacial Fortress gives me, and obviously got a Hinterland Harbour as well, so I do have, but we will cast out the Sky Spawner. I'm not going to attack obviously with the 4/4 for now. I also have Quell Speller up, skip attack, and we'll emerge the Deep Fiend on the next turn. Be able to swing in for some good amount of damage. We even be able to cancel a spell if a spell is going to be cast. It is, so I can cancel that. Giving us a tempo advantage. Sacred Cat for life. Okay, we've got Sylvan Advocate as well, but what we're going to do, we're going to emerge from the Sky Spawner and we can tap down all of these. Confirm. Swing for 6. And we got the 5/6 very decent threat just to hold the ground or pressure. Okay, just generating tokens, which is fine. And now we have Tameo. What I will do for now is just to get some more card draw going. Sylvan Advocate can come out, which is useful. Tameo Let's do the cat. Giving it another card. It's Thalia, which is very handy. Okay, we've got an unblockable 3/3. No doubt attacking Cameo, yep. At least she's still up. Again. I'm going to use the Advocate and cast Thalia. Sky Spawner, okay, oh yeah, it's open mana there, so Sky Spawner comes out as well. The Advocate acted as a target, which I thought it would. And now we're set up to close out the game. Again, we're expecting an attack on Thalia. That 2/2 is obviously annoying, so we'll remove it with the... But as I said, we have lethal anyway. Thalia is keeping the token in check, and we've got another Declaration in Stone, so let's remove that one. Let's remove that one and swing for the win. Okay everyone, I hope that gave you a good idea of how the deck runs.